Hello YouTube. This video is going to be for King Kurk. King Kurk asked me 3 questions and I'm going to answer them here in this video. His first question is witchcraft very present here in Michigan? Yes, it is. We have plenty of witches, plenty of druids, plenty of magical people here in Michigan. If you're a witch here in Michigan and you want to be a member of a coven, there really isn't any excuse. There are plenty of covens, plenty of witches. There are plenty of opportunities to learn about the craft, about magic here in Michigan. So it's a great place to live. A lot of times the places that get the most publicity is like New Orleans or Salem or even California, but we have a pretty large and tight magical community here in Michigan. Some people say it has something to do with the Great Lakes. Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe that's drawing in a lot of psychic energy, but I can tell you there's a large craft community and magical community here in Michigan. And I will also add that there are a lot of African Americans who practice the craft here in Michigan. When I ran Full Moon Circle at Wayne State University, I had plenty of African Americans attending my rituals and workshops and whatnot. So yes, witchcraft is very, very prevalent here in Michigan. The next 2 questions have to do with music, which is, I think it's kind of cool. The first question is jazz. You want to know if jazz was an influence on the early Black Sabbath records. I think it had more to do with blues. I think a lot of rock and roll took from the blues more so than jazz. But there is an element of jazz, especially in the music of the 60s. People like the Doors, they really were into people like John Coltrane. So there is some influence of jazz probably in, I would say, Black Sabbath music, but it has more to do with the blues, American blues. So that's my take on it. Okay, your next question is my impression of the sign of the Southern Cross. As most of you guys know, I'm a huge Dio fan. I only got a chance to see Dio once, and that kind of sucked. I didn't get a chance to see him the last time he was here in Michigan because I had to work that night, which really sucked. But I've always been a huge Dio fan. And I think probably the reason why I was always a huge Dio fan is because he was this little guy with this very loud voice, and I could relate to that. People who are, I guess, small in stature and really know how to command an audience and really have outstanding voices. I'm kind of sold on those individuals. So people like Dio, people like Prince, people like Bruce Dickinson. I always dug those guys. Anyway, my impression of the sign of the Southern Cross, it's a great song. Dio had a great writing ability. I love his songs. I love the way he put things together. One of the things that I kind of wish they would have added into my musical education at Wayne State University would be the element of rock and roll music and how creative it is. People like Dio, people like Black Sabbath, who else? Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and those guys who very, very creative. Excuse me for the phone going off in the background if you can actually hear that in this video. It's distracting, but I don't feel like making this video again, so sorry. Anyway, Sign of the Southern Cross, excellent song. I love that song. And the more I learn about astrology and the signs that are in the sky, it's just something that definitely fascinates me personally. And you guys do know that's about the Southern Cross that's up in the sky, right? Alright, anyway, I hope I answered your questions, King Kurk, and if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, forgive me. It looks like King Kurk to me, so feel free to correct me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Anyway, that's an answer to your 3 questions. Feel free to ask more. I'm always looking for material to put here on my YouTube channel. It doesn't necessarily have to be about religion. It can be about music or other things also. Alright, until next time, love is the law, and of course, peace.